Good evening, I'm the Ace of Vegas, and your bartender is a Decepticon!
How about a beer, mighty Megatron?
Is the Ace of Vegas, the Ace of Vegas.
Alright guys, so today I wanted to go ahead and discuss an article that I read on Vital Vegas. I'm going to put a link to that article in the description box below, but here's the abridged version of it. MGM Resorts is planning on replacing their bartenders with robots. No, really, with robots.
Robots! No! Fool around!
Okay, that's a little extreme, but MGM Resorts' plan is basically to install new cocktail dispensing machines in all their Vegas resorts by the end of summer this year, so about August of 2019. Now, this isn't a new idea. In fact, the Culinary Union last year in their strike were really fighting against automation, and this was one of the ideas that they were concerned about. Now, the gist behind the whole cocktail dispensing machine thing is this. So the cocktail robots, or the smart tender, as they like to call it, is that it'll be able to slash labor prices and get the perfect pour every time. So enabling cocktail waitresses to bring out patrons' drinks without the need of a bartender in between, which to the casino means more money in their pocket and less money spent on labor costs. Now, this is all part of MGM's 2020 plan, where by 2020, MGM is fixing to save $300 million, with $100 million of it going to labor costs. Now, they're fixing to go ahead and get rid of quite a few middle management sort of guys too, and some upper executives are expecting some pretty big severance packages. But eventually, especially after the Culinary Union contracts run out, we're probably going to be looking at a lot of low-level guys too, like cocktail waitresses, bartenders, and other servers, losing their jobs to some of these robots, potentially. Now, the concept of a robot bartender isn't exactly a new thing. In fact, the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas already has an entire bar dedicated to robots. It's called the Tipsy Robot, and they serve you with a completely mechanical bar staff and wait staff so that you can get your martinis Jetson style. Though as of this video, the casino proper still uses flesh and blood wait staff to bring their patrons drinks. So that begs the question, not so much whether these things are actually going to take over casinos and bars, but whether they should be allowed to take over the Vegas casinos. Let's go over the pros and cons right now. Pro number one, you get perfect drinks every time. Now, most Vegas bartenders are very good at their job, they're very experienced and very well educated. But you know, fact of the matter is, it's really hard to remember that many drinks. There are hundreds of cocktails. Thing about the smart tender is it can remember hundreds of drinks. I think it said something like 200 or 300 in the video. I'll have to check the video again. And then it actually pours them out perfectly up to about 1/20th of an ounce. So you never get too much rum or not enough vodka, vice versa, and there's never any overpour, allegedly. So we'll go ahead and see how that goes. So you save some money there if you're a casino owner, and if you're a patron, then you get some better mixed drinks. Pro number two, they're cheap. Now when I say cheap, they're $25,000, so that's a good chunk of change for you and me. But for a mega casino that's pulling in $2-3 billion a year, $25,000 is nothing. In fact, that's $20,000 cheaper than your average bartender makes in Las Vegas anyway. So you've already saved yourself an entire bartender just by going with one of these smart tender machines. Pro number three, you have the option to make it a self-serve machine. So the nice thing about it is you can actually program these machines with their security codes, but then there's also an option to program them with hotel keys or players' cards or something of the like. So players would even be able to walk up to a machine, swipe their card, and use their comps right away to get free drinks. So that cuts down on labor costs as well. And also, that's pretty nice for patrons since we don't have to run around, wait for wait staff, or find wait staff, and then after that, it's a bit cheaper because, frankly, you don't have to tip a machine. Okay, so now for a few of the cons. The first con, there will be fewer bartenders in Vegas, and that's a bit of a problem. Bartenders are some of the coolest people that you'll meet in Vegas. They've got great advice for shows, places to hang out, places to eat, so on and so forth, and you know, a lot of them are very experienced, very personable, and fun to hang out with. But since these machines are actually cheaper than their average bartender and can technically do the exact same thing without the sympathetic ear, that means a lot of the jobs in the valley could be going away, especially since hospitality is the biggest industry in Las Vegas, at least as of this recording right now. Con number 2, more lines. So if MGM and if Caesars or Wynn or whoever else decides to adopt this too, decides to go the route of self-serve with these machines here, that means we're going to have some more queues to wait in here. And who wants to wait in a line, especially when you've been on a hot streak at a table, or you've been at a hot streak on your machine, on video poker, slots, or whatever? Why miss out on a jackpot? Why miss out on a hot deck? Because you had to get up, go to a machine, swipe your card, and then maybe get one drink out of it. That sounds like a terrible exchange there, especially if you're winning. I wouldn't want to do that. I can't think of a single gamer that wants to do that. It's a terrible place to be. And last but not least, the third worst thing about this is you won't be able to customize it. Now, there are great mixologists out there are great bartenders out there that are very creative. My personal favorites are the Geeky Drinkers. I'll go ahead and put a link to them in the description box below. But basically, they're another YouTube channel that makes some fun geek-themed cocktails, like they did a Spyro the Dragon cocktail. I remember they made a Let's Go Pikachu and a Let's Go Eevee shot when those games came out too. They've done some Assassin's Creed cocktails and great things like that. And some of those recipes I'd really like to try. So right now, as it stands, I can talk to a live bartender, and then I can tell him, like, here's a recipe for this thing. If you want to go ahead and mix it up, I'll kick you a couple extra bucks too on top of the regular tip, and I can have a nice, crazy custom cocktail. Now, with these machines, from what I could read and from what I could tell from the video presentation, they don't have any customizability. And that actually could be a problem, especially if you like a bit of an obscure cocktail. My personal favorite cocktail is the Brass Monkey, but there are a couple different variants of it. There's a proper cocktail version with vodka, dark rum, and orange juice. There's a bit of a beer tail with it where you can use either a malt liquor like Colt 40 and an orange juice, or there's actually a pre-mixed version too. So there's a lot of Brass Monkeys out there, and I doubt that this one's going to know all the different ones, nevertheless the ones that I like. And I just don't like the idea of having to pour 6 different drinks and then mix it myself. At that point, what am I even going to this dispenser for? What do I want that robot for? But you know what? Now it's time to open the floor. What do you guys think? Are robot bartenders a good thing, or do you think that these are just robots in disguise here to ruin our casino experience? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Personally, I don't like the idea of them in casinos. I think they are inevitable, but I feel like it really takes away from the human heart and the human enhancement of an experience. I get it's a nice efficiency thing, but if efficiency comes at the cost of fun, especially when I'm on holiday, I don't think I'm down with that. I admittedly do want one of these smart tenders for my home, but that's just a personal thing for me. Till then, Ace of Vegas is signing out. Strong hands and happy spending, you guys.
Thank you.